want to share a little story with you about a couple ladies that had this incredible vision. They wanted to create an endowment to help people that wanted to go in the nursing field be able to do so without the burden of student death. They realized that, that there's such a need for nurses. We hear in the news all the time what a nursing shortage that there is around the country. They wanted to do something to help that out. Ruth Elizabeth Anderson and Mary Jane Downs created an endowment. They passed away in the 90s, and at that time the endowment went into effect. That time the endowment was worth $3 million. One of them was a bookkeeper, one was a teacher. They lived very frugal lives, but they were very wise investors. That's how they were able to do that. Now that endowment is worth over $6 million. And it has created so much opportunity for so many nurses. Just last year alone, 181 nurses were going through nursing school by all the different scholarships that are available through the Hospital Foundation. And that was to the tune of nearly $500,000. So we're really proud of that. Just imagine the difference this has made to your hospital and who we have for nurses. It's my pleasure to introduce Shannon Noctegal, our Chief Nursing Officer, to share a little bit about the impact that these nursing scholarships have for BFRMC.
Good evening. I would like to take this opportunity, I'm really grateful to speak to you tonight, to honor the nurses in the room because this is National Nurses Week. So all the nurses in the room, I know Jan Ringler, stand up, Tammy Mitchell, Mary King, I've saw a lot of nurses, Sharon back there. Yes, I know y'all, Barb, all right, woo! Come on, Melanie, come on, stand up. So we've celebrated a great week at the hospital with our nurses, recognizing them for National Nurses Week. And we end the week tomorrow with a 5K run or walk, whatever you prefer. We start in the morning at the Peitz Cancer Support House. Come in, register at 7:30, and we take off by 8, and all our proceeds go to one of our community houses. So this has been a great week to honor our nurses. I've been a registered nurse for 28 years. And like Sally, I grew up in a country town called Peel, Arkansas. Any Peel people in the room? Hey, yeah, Becky Rose back there. Population 300. Not lying. Went to high school at Yellville Summit and went to college at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. And it wasn't easy, but I was fortunate enough to have a support system that helped me get through nursing school. I graduated nursing school and went to work at Arkansas Children's Hospital. Great hospital, loved working there. But a Peel girl does not fit in Little Rock, Arkansas. So I found my way back to Baxter Regional Medical Center. And when I told people I was moving to Mountain Home, Arkansas, to Baxter Regional Medical Center, I remember one person in particularly went, "Whoa, big Baxter, go girl." And I didn't know what I was getting into, but I came, and I'm telling you, Tammy, right there, raise your hand, Tammy. She was my preceptor when I came all those years ago, and I was astounded by the skill and knowledge of our nurses. I wanted to be just like them. I wanted to learn everything I could from them, and I did. I watched, and I looked, and I listened, and I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing, and I entered every class I could, and I took advanced cardiac life support and pediatric advanced life support. I took all these classes so that I would know what they knew when I was in one of those situations. So I tell you all that to say that we don't recruit nurses to Mountain Home, Arkansas to come work at our hospital from big cities. We get nurses that have experienced Mountain Home. We get nurses who either grew up here, vacationed here, have some sort of tie to Mountain Home. That's why it is so important that we reach out to our local people. When Karen in Human Resources and I started talking with the school districts in Mountain Home, do you all know that a lot of our high school students work to provide a third income for their homes? Did you all know that? They work to provide a third income for their home so that their families can eat and pay the bills. And the thought of a nursing career for these people, or any career for this people, is just so far out of reach that they never thought that that would be possible. Well, guess what? Through Anderson Downs, it's possible. It's possible. And we put these people, we give these people scholarships, and we pay for their prerequisites, and we pay for their nursing school. And not only do we do that, but we offer them a place to work if they need to while they're going to nursing school. And we are flexible with their schedule so that they can balance school and work. And then when they get out of nursing school, guess what we have? Very few out there in the country. We have an RN residency that they can come into. It's a 5-month immersion into the clinical setting to help them transition into being a real nurse out there. So when I talk about what this means to Baxter Regional Medical Center, a lot of the nurses that you meet at our hospital are homegrown nurses. And I will tell you, I will put them up against any nurse in any hospital in this nation. Woo! Along with our physicians, our nurses and our physicians, I will put them up against any healthcare provider in our nation. I wouldn't be standing here if I didn't believe in that. So I believe in our nurses, I believe in our physicians, I believe in our hospital, and to be able to stand here and say that so many of our nurses would not be nurses today if they didn't have the support from you. They just couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. They don't want to leave their families. They don't want to leave them without a source of income. They couldn't do it. And you all know where we are with health care. We come knocking on Barney's door all the time. And more and more people are knocking on Barney's door for money. But when it comes to nursing, we are never turned away. So the foundation has helped us with nursing scholarships. It's helped us with equipment. It's helped us with chairs. It's helped us with recruitment focus. You all help us every time we ask. And I can't tell you, as the director of nurses, how much I appreciate it, how much I have a passion for nursing, and I hope that that passion, you can feel it. Barney says, I just need you to speak a few minutes. Okay, you know, Barney, I'm talking about nursing. I don't know if I can do it in just a few minutes. But I just want to say, on behalf of nursing at Baxter Regional Medical Center, no matter what role you fill in the nursing at our hospital, thank you. Thank you so much. And you're going to hear a story from one of our recent new graduates who has worked long and hard to become a nurse. And she couldn't have done it without the support of you and the support of her leader and the support of her peers at the hospital. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Hi, my name is Tana Seeley, and I have been a nurse aide for 32 years. I started taking care of my great-grandma and my grandma when they were sick, and I decided then that I wanted to be in the healthcare profession, be an RN. I started as a CNA at a nursing home in Illinois at the age of 16, and my mom actually had to sign my paychecks for me to go to work. And so then, as I grew older and got a little bit more experience, I love taking care of patients. I love taking care of other people's moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas. It makes me feel good. And I came here to work 7.5 years ago, and when I did, I was going to school. I just started school in the RN program, and they asked me if I knew about the Anderson Downs scholarship, and I did not, so they explained it to me, and it's a wonderful thing to help people like me to get through school and to be able to have their dream job of taking care of people. So it's the donors like you out there that give so much for people like me to be able to accomplish my dreams.
It is my honor and privilege tonight to share the stories of two of our foundation donors. Endowments are forever, and forever is a word that we like in the foundation. Planning for the future of our hospital is paramount to what we do each day when we come to work. We work with our donors to make sure their vision and their dreams come true, their legacy is born and continues into the future. Tonight you will hear what is in the heart of Ms. Donna Cordonnier and Mr. Peter Peitz. I first met Donna last year at the Pink for Peitz Rodeo. She jumped in with both feet and became a volunteer. And that is when I discovered her passion for the Peitz House and her story, and her willingness to help secure the longevity of the Peitz Cancer Support House through a planned gift endowment. Peter Peitz is a visionary. He sees into the future and makes things happen. His vision for helping to create a cancer center for cancer patients and survivors became a reality in 2000 with the naming of the Peitz Cancer Support House. Peter and Donna both have stories to share with you this evening. Won't you join me in welcoming Ms. Cordonnier and listening to what is in her heart, and Mr. Peitz will share his story afterwards.
If you're like me, you imagine that you're going to be around forever, right? You feel young, you think young, and you act young, right? Right, everybody'd agree with that. Well, nothing was more sobering to me or mind-altering than what I received in the mail some months ago. Does anyone recognize this piece of mail? Has my name on it, so I know it was meant for me. It says Donna Cordonnier, and on the top of it, it says, Medicare Open Enrollment Packet. That has to be wrong. That can't be me. Well, I'll tell you, that single piece of mail quickly painted an image for me that I am a lot closer to the finish line than I am at the starting gate. Let's face it. But then this also got me thinking about my legacy. What do I want to happen with my assets when I pass away? I definitely want them to mean something, and I want them to do a lot of good, and I want them to be sustainable and renewable and energy that keeps going. I don't want it to be for a couple of years and fizzle out, and that's the end of it. I decided to keep my eyes and my ears and my mind open from that point forward. But as all things happen in life, when you open yourself up to something, wonderful things come to you. And not long after that, I was invited to tour the Peitz Cancer Support House. I have known Peter and Jan for quite a few years, so I knew of their overflowing capacity for giving and caring for this community. I had recently met Melissa Hudson, their director, and was struck by her devotion to making this support house the ultimate refuge for patients and their families suffering from cancer. So as I walked up to the front door to take my tour, I turned the door handle and I opened the door, and the first thing I saw was this beautiful little girl, couldn't have been more than 4 or 5. And she was so happy. She was dancing around in the room, and she was playing with these toys. And she gave me a big smile and looked up and went, "Hi!" And as I walked further into the room, I see a woman about my age standing behind her, quite pensive, kind of holding her hands. And then my eyes went to the sofa. And I see this 30-year-old young woman, bald, with a scarf on her head. And she is engrossed in this big, thick binder, which I learned later from Melissa is the binder that gives people all the information they need when they've been told they have cancer. And I was looking at this young woman, and yes, she was scared, but there was something in her eyes that I'll never forget. And it was knowledge. She was gaining knowledge about a disease that she was terrified of. I'm sorry, I mean, this family just made me choke up. And she was empowered. And I just thought, where would this family, 3 generations of women, where would they be right at this moment if it was not for the Peitz house? And so an idea was born. This was a wonderful cause, and maybe a good candidate for my living gift after I'm gone. But that's not enough for me. There are multitudes of good causes in this community, but I have a desire to leave a gift to those who meet my qualifications of being well organized and, by all accounts, well run. A few weeks later, I volunteered to be on the committee for the Peitz Rodeo, which was a blast. It had so much fun. At the first meeting, I met many board members, all the committee members, and the staff and volunteers of the Peitz house. Well, the meeting kicked off, with good donuts too, by the way. Jan and Peter got up to give a little talk, and they spoke with humility, dedication. They're smart and they're organized. During the meeting, I witnessed everyone's passion and dedication and attention to budget. Every idea that was being thrown around that room went back to the budget. How can we make this work? Can we afford this? How do we shave a little off of that? And I was immediately impressed, because this was not only a worthy cause, but it was well organized. And at that moment, my desire turned to action. I went back to my estate planner, who happens to be in this room, and made the Peitz Cancer Support House a beneficiary in my trust. This is my personal story of what brought me to leave this living gift. And you all have your personal stories that I encourage you to seek your passion and explore those organizations that you think could leave a living legacy of yours, and then make them part of your truly living legacy. Thank you.
How can anybody follow that? What a world, what a world. Well, good evening, donors and friends. Good evening, guests. I'm so glad you're here, and I wonder why you came. Maybe you came because of this great affair and have deep esoteric reasons to be here. That is a wonderful way to be. Maybe you came because you wanted to see your friends. Why did I come? Well, I came for the free food and the wine. I love to follow the trail of good food that leads to free food and drink, and wherever that might lead me. In this case, he brought me here. Now, seeing you here is you as friends, and many of you I know are not friends. You just happen to be the fringe benefit to my free meal. Thank you very much. So Barney said, Peter, you know, we have a very tight schedule. We always do. I give you 3 to 4 minutes to keep moving. So here I go. In the year 2000, when we opened the Cancer Support House, it was the first of the community houses. It was the first of the major named gifts. And as far as I'm concerned, it was an unsure affair. To be honest with you, I funded it with trepidation. I didn't know how that would work. I wonder whether it would end up as wasted money. But just like you, I have hustled all my life to put a few shekels together so I could care later for myself and my family. That makes it hard to just say, open the hands and give it away. So I wasn't sure. But thanks to Jan, my wife, who was then just at an occasional date. I might get into trouble now, right? Yeah. That she promised, and she says, Peter, if you do that, I will make it successful. And she did. At the time we expected... Stand up, Mama. So we had this thing going, and what we were afraid of, it became really immediately successful. We had a discussion, what would it do and how many people would we see in a year? And the guesses were maybe 500 or maybe 600 or so. And as you know, and if you don't, let me share with you, it is now thousands every year. In the thousands every year is what makes all the difference, because then it really, really serves a purpose. I'm sharing this with you tonight because I'm here today to express my appreciation and thank you for all of those who are serving our clients so diligently. Starting with Barney and Estella, the many volunteers, the very engaged and active board of directors, and they're amazing with all they do. And of course, Melissa manages and takes care of clients. They are the ones that made it happen. All I did is put up the seed money. To give my joy and satisfaction, it is one of the things that has really worked out well for me. All of us have had things that work, things that don't work, things that are so-so. This is one that really turned out fantastic, not because of me, but because of you and the staff and the volunteers that make it happen. One volunteer and donor who just makes me feel so humble is Donna Cordonier, who spoke to you a minute ago. She hasn't lived here all that long, not anywhere near as long as I have. And yet she loves our community and made recently this major bequest to the Cancer Support House. What an example of generosity, folks. Not after having lived here for 50 years, but recognizing, seeing, acting, and making it happen. I'm just truly, truly humbled. The community houses, just like the hospital, always struggle for money. Having been the financial chair since the foundation was started in 1998 or 1989, I promise you I know. It is always tight. It is always need for more. And so the struggle is really and is real, not only today, but especially for the future. And we need to prepare for the homes to have, for the houses to have endowment. So when I learned Donna had given a major bequest, I told her and promised her that tonight I'm matching her gift. Now you have some sort of an idea what it costs you when you go for a free dinner and wine. Today, I'm making this gift without trepidation. None at all. I give today with joy and gratitude to all those who make the Cancer Support House possible. Now that I have done my job, let me have some fun. Pink for Peitz. Yeah. What I'm sharing with you now is, of course, I wasn't the one that designated the pink for Peitz, but I live with it, right? And I'm going to share with you what a token German cowboy knows about having a rodeo, right? And that is going to happen in, what is it? It's held, I think, in August 11 and 12. And I have been there several years, and I enjoy going, and I truly invite you to go because it is fun. It is a good evening for donors. It is a good evening for guests. There is lots of stuff going on that is really it is just sort of very cute, and there are little kids that ride on sheep and on goats, and there is of course also the riding organization that is showing off and doing beautiful things. Called the Chicks and Spurs, and as you can imagine, I primarily look at the chicks and not the spurs, and love it. And they do fantastic. They do roping, and they have got goats, and they're called mutton busting, barrel racing, and famous activities. Personally, I just think you ought to come, you ought to support it, because it is not only supporting what we are doing and what's so essential, but it is really a fun thing to do. So come out for either that or Pink Out Football, where we are painting the town pink on September 29 at 4:30 in the afternoon. All of those that like football, put on your pink shirt. There will be T-shirts, and I have already registered my name on the football side first, because they have a cookout. Fits right into my program. So enjoy the evening and enjoy this program. I had fun chatting with you.